Congratulations! You graduated! You did it! You're free! Free from classes and studying and shitty dorm food, free to travel and work and worry about paying the bills and the crushing responsibility of complete control over your own decisions and happiness with no deadlines or milestones to look forward to until you get married or have kids or get divorced or die. Wait, what? Yeah, it's been 2.5 months now since I've graduated. I know a lot of you guys are graduating soon or just have. Congratulations, by the way. Welcome to the fucking mess that is life after graduation. I mention this quite frequently. I've kind of been going through an on and off existential crisis ever since I graduated. So I thought today I would just compile all of those thoughts and I don't know, maybe you guys can relate. I probably just need a therapist, but putting your thoughts out to millions of strangers on the internet is just as good. Right? Okay, number one thing that struck me right after I graduated is the complete lack of milestones. The thing that always keeps me going and keeps me working really hard is that milestone. Whether it's graduation, whether it's summer break, there's always something to look forward to. But once you graduate, what the fuck are the milestones anymore? You have marriage, buying a house, having kids, dying? Call me a cynic, but I honestly think that is why so many people rush to get married or have babies even, is just because they want another thing to celebrate and then they can measure their life by their baby's milestones. As you can tell, I would be a very nurturing and kind mother. Part of me just wishes that as an adult, every 4 years you could have another adult graduation. I'd get a cap and a gown and a dumb piece of paper that says, "Congratulations, you made it 4 more years in your adult life. Good job." I guess the main way that I get joy in my life is just working myself so hard that I am proud that I'm exhausted and tired, and that's a big part of my identity. But now that I'm not working towards a particular goal and just my entire foreseeable future is me working my ass off, it's a little bit harder to stay motivated, I'm gonna be completely honest. The weirdest thing about graduating is having to shift your mindset from being goal-oriented, just wait until graduation, wait until this class is over, wait until somebody gives me an A or a gold star, to actually enjoying your everyday life and being satisfied with yourself and the things that you do every day, which I've never been good at. By the way, I'm gonna come off incredibly privileged and annoying in this entire thing. I know that having an existential crisis is a privilege because I'm not worried about putting food on the table, and if I was, then I would not be thinking about the fucking purpose of life. I'm gonna call this second section the wonderful, crushing, infinite possibility of life. Do you ever stop and think about the fact that adults are just bumbling around the world? Nobody's telling them what to do, where they have to be, what job they have to take, what apartment they have to live in. Anything is up to me. It's weird. Part of me romanticizes, what if I could just be a 50s housewife? Nothing would be expected of me other than to look pretty, to choose some drapery. Not to say that work isn't hard, but back in the day, my life would have been decided for me, and now the pressure is on me to make the most of my life. That's terrifying but empowering at the same time. Thing number 3 that freaks me out about life is dating. Okay, here is how I see dating. You have a deck of cards. Say there's 10 cards and they all have a different number on them. You don't know how high the numbers could go. They could go up to 100, 200, 10 could be the highest number that you ever get. This represents how many people you're gonna date in your life. Although I think statistically people have 2 or 3 relationships before they get married, which is a scarily low number because I'm on relationship number 3. Okay, so you have this deck of cards / guys or gals. They're shuffled, so you have no idea what order they're gonna come up in. As you date throughout your life, you just flip over 1 card at a time. But before moving on to the rest of the cards, you have to decide whether you're gonna keep that card or let it go. At any given point, a relationship is just a bet that this is good enough for me, and this is as good as it's gonna get. Arbitrarily, you have no idea. You have no idea if there's somebody better out there. Part of me wishes that I could just boop boop boop, flip over all the cards in my deck and know what I have for the future, but that's not really how life works. I don't know, that's probably a flawed mentality because people aren't numbers. It depends on whether you grow together, whether you really nurture that relationship or not, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? I guess rom-coms and Disney movies have taught me since I was really young that love is this grand, fateful thing, but really it's just kind of swiping on a dating app on somebody I thought was cute. And now 7 months later, we know each other really well and we've come to deal with all of each other's bullshit and like each other for who we are, so I guess that's, I don't know, maybe that's fucking love. I wanted to talk about workaholism, I guess is what we can call this section. Throughout the week, all I really think about is looking forward to the weekend and saying, you're gonna work so that you can get this break. And then on the weekend, when I do have a break, all I can think about is feeling guilty that I'm not working. And I'm stuck in this cycle in my own brain of constantly feeling like I should be doing something else or looking forward to something. Everything from my mom when I was younger, who every day she'd wake me up on the weekend and ask, what are you doing that's productive today, Ashley? To my teachers in high school who were all about getting good grades and getting into a good college. And now people who look at my YouTube numbers and they're like, oh my god, 1.6 mil, congratulations, you're so successful. I guess my entire life it's been burned into my brain that success is what will make me happy and success is what defines me. But when I look back at my life, the happiest times and the times that I have felt most alive were times when I wasn't working. I have this weird thing where throughout the week, I honestly sometimes feel like I don't exist. Sometimes my entire week, I just spend alone with my camera in my apartment, editing a video. Sometimes I feel like I'm just pixels on a screen. The times that I feel the most alive and that I feel the most real is like that feeling of a summer night, meeting somebody new, or hanging out with your friends in high school, or being with somebody you love. You know those nights where time almost stops because you don't care if you're tired and you don't care if it's like 5 a.m. because you're just like in the moment? That's what life is, but we don't get enough of it because we're all just like, we have to work more to buy more things that we don't really want so we can feel some superficial level of status and achievement and pat ourselves on the back and say, good job, you're working yourself to death. Ashley. That brings me to the last section of this video, which is memory. Let's call it. It weirds me out how badly I remember my own life. Like, I couldn't tell you what I did last week, what I felt last week, how much I slept last week, or what I ate. Poof, just another week gone by. I don't really remember. It also weirds me out that I've met so many people in my life who will never meet each other, and I've been so many places where the people I know haven't been. Nobody really knows like the whole Ashley. That reminds me of this one quote from Heart of Darkness that goes, "We live as we dream, alone." I've always loved that quote because I feel like life is like a dream when you try to describe it to other people. And you know, I try to tell David about my hometown now, and it's like describing a dream to him, where in my mind I can recall it vividly and I think it's so exciting, but David's just there like, yeah, okay, like he's doing his best to envision it, but he could never have lived through it. Same thing for all the random adventures I've gone on and all the feelings I've felt throughout my life. I guess they're really just mine, and sometimes that makes me feel really lonely because I'm just this little like capsule of feelings and memories that nobody else can understand. Like recently I met up with my ex for the first time in like 2 years. It felt really, really good because I didn't have a single photo of us together. He never met any of my friends, so I almost felt like that wasn't real. It was this weird part of my life that only I could remember. Who we are is made up of our past experiences, but our perception of our past experiences is made up of memory. And memory isn't even something that's real, so like, who the fuck are we? I don't know. Life is just how you perceive it, I guess. Okay, well, that's, I guess, all I have for you guys. I hope that you guys relate to some of these thoughts. Well, maybe I don't hope, because most of them were kind of depressing. I wanted to make this video because sometimes I feel so frustrated with, I guess, the constraints of my job as, like, make a cute video with cute handwriting and cute aesthetics and make a couple liberal jokes that people find really edgy. And sometimes, like, that's not what's on my mind. What's on my mind is, like, life is weird. I'll see you guys next week with a much more normal video. Bye.